Welcome to Talk on Nevada, a feature of the Nevada Policy Research Institute. I'm Andy Matthews, and joining me this week is Geoffrey Lawrence, a fiscal policy analyst with NPRI. Jeff, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure, Andy.
There's a lot of noise out there about the current Nevada budget situation, the so-called crisis we've got. Go ahead and break that down for us. What's really happening?
Well, what's happening is the legislature would like to spend much more money than is coming into state coffers, primarily because they've been unable to set priorities and determine which government programs are most important and which are relatively expendable. The latest projections show there will be only about $5.5 billion in revenues. On the other hand, the legislature would like to spend about $6.9 billion, so that's a shortfall of about $1.4 billion, which the legislature will be looking to fill in through a combination of higher taxes and federal stimulus money that will come with strings attached.
The legislature in recent days has finally come out with a series of proposals for tax increases. Talk about those proposals and what they would mean for taxpaying Nevada citizens.
Well, the most significant tax increase the legislature is considering would be a doubling of what's known as the modified business tax. Now, what this is an assessment against the payroll of a business. So it requires them to pay a certain percentage of their payroll to the state, basically as a penalty for employing people. So what this does is it provides a disincentive to hire new employees or to give your existing employees pay raises. Now, in a recession, as we're currently in, this is a perverse incentive from a market standpoint because it will lead to higher unemployment.
They also want to raise the sales tax, is that correct?
That's true. They're considering an increase in the sales tax as a part of this package as well. And what that will do is discourage consumers from purchasing products that they need to fulfill their family's wants and desires. What that will do is cut into the revenue streams of businesses across the state and further force them to lay off employees and contribute to higher unemployment and lower economic growth in the state.
There have been some reports in the media that there's some negotiating going on, where basically some legislators who would otherwise be inclined to oppose tax increases may go along with those tax increases in exchange for some reforms to the state's public employees retirement system. What would that mean?
The public employees retirement system and public employees benefit systems are the entitlement programs for state workers in Nevada. These are some of the most generous entitlement programs for state workers of any state in the country. Currently, Nevada pays about 90% of all funds that go into the retirement fund, and that's the highest rate in the country. Now, the proposed reforms that have been discussed recognize that this is a problem and aim to reduce the long-term obligations that state taxpayers have towards these state employees.
Now, at this point, both Governor Gibbons and the legislators have come out with their plans for Nevada's budget. And in both cases, the amount of money they want to spend in the budget far exceeds what we're expecting to get in under the latest revenue projections. But at NPRI, you've come out with an alternative to both of their proposals. Tell us a little bit about that.
NPRI's freedom budget, as we refer to it, is an alternative to both the governor's proposed budget and the legislature's proposed budget that attempts to weigh priorities, weigh higher priority items against lower priority items in an effort to eliminate government waste. What this does is adds funds back into the highest priority expenditures and eliminates the less effective programs that government has engaged itself in Nevada. And the end result is that the freedom budget comes out to a $5.1 billion balanced budget that would avoid the need for all tax increases, would avoid the need for federal stimulus dollars that would come with strings attached, and it would have even avoided the need for the room tax hike that has already passed the legislature.
Jeff, what do Nevada's legislators more than anything need to keep in mind as they approach the end of this budget process?
Instead of passing the state's largest tax increase in history, legislators need to be able to prioritize spending and eliminate waste, just as all families and businesses in Nevada have already done.
Jeff, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for joining us this week on Talk on Nevada. You can get more information on the NPRI Freedom Budget and more private solutions to public challenges facing our silver state at npri.org.